What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. Today's video, I'm going to go over my favorite games from the Summer Games Fest Showcase and just all the other events that happened during that, including the Nintendo Direct, the Xbox Conference, and all the others. There was a lot of stuff to watch and cover, and I watched as much as I could. And these games stood out to me as games that I'm going to be picking up day one, no matter where, no matter what. And of course, guys, let me know in the comment section below what games you really enjoyed from Summer Game Fest non-E3 season. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Really appreciate it. Now, my game of the show might just be Astrobot. Astrobot is a game that we've wanted for such a long time. And we had the VR game, but like 12 people played it. We have Astro's Playroom, which was a free install on every PS5 system, and everyone loved it. It is still one of the best games on the PS5 today, and we finally are getting a full-fledged Astrobot game with over 80 levels. It seems to be 150 cameos, and it's just living through the world and celebrating why we love PlayStation and all the different characters in that universe. And the thing about Astrobot is the gameplay is just so good. It is honestly PlayStation's Mario, and this is a game that should not be slept on. And the thing is, I really want Sony and PlayStation to make more of these types of smaller scale games. I don't need every game to be a AAA third-person shooter. I love those games, but we need some more variety. We need to take it back to the PS3, PS4 era where we're seeing more fun type of games coming out of PlayStation, and Astrobot seems to be the remedy to the error here on PlayStation's part. So I cannot wait to dive into the world of Astrobot, live through the world of PlayStation, and enjoy all of this phenomenal content. 80 levels, a crap ton of enemies, and confirmed free DLC updates, and challenge levels, speedrun levels. This seems to be a perfect video game for me. Shift gears, Doom the Dark Ages is going to be such a incredible, gritty medieval experience. I was not expecting the shift from Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal to go all the way back to like medieval times. You're fighting dragons, and it seems to be a more melee focus oriented game on the Doom series, which is really cool. It's like Doom with a twist. And I gotta say, Doom 2016 was a phenomenal, near perfect video game. Eternal took that to the max, like you're driving a Ferrari at 100 miles per hour. And honestly, for me, it was a little bit too much on like the technical side of like going through all the mechanics and using everything. So I think slowing down the gameplay and focusing more on destroying as many enemies as you can in more like horde style combat is my preferred way to play Doom. And the fact that there is a freaking saw shield you can parry in this game, and the enemies look completely crazy, and it seems like we're gonna actually go into the mech this time around. This might be one of the best, if not the best, Doom game of all time. My favorite trends in video games is the HD 2D remakes, and Dragon Quest III is luckily taking part in that, and oh man, does this game look gorgeous. If you like your classic NES, SNES looking RPGs, you cannot deny Dragon Quest III in your life. And if you've never played a Dragon Quest game, these games have the art of Akira Toriyama, who passed away, and his art is absolutely phenomenal. We've seen it in Dragon Ball and in Dragon Quest, and it's just so good. But if you've never played a Dragon Quest game, this is the game to get into it. Your typical JRPG action, but with an actual beautiful world to explore. They're even adding new scenarios, new writing to the game. They're adding tons of quality of life stuff that wasn't in the original NES version. And I personally never played the original, but I do love Dragon Quest 8 and Dragon Quest 11. So as a big fan of JRPGs, I am so excited to dive into Dragon Quest 3. Can you believe that the Nintendo Direct started with a brand new Mario and Luigi RPG game? We haven't seen one of these in 9 years, and we thought this series was over as the previous studio that made these closed down in 2019. But Mario and Luigi Brothership is here, and it looks so freaking good. Seriously, I love that the Mario and Luigi brother attacks are back into these games. We got the fire, we got the electric power, and honestly, it takes place in a series of islands, so is this like Mario and Luigi's Wind Waker type of game? I cannot freaking wait for this. It's got the great art style, jolly good times and vibes in this game, and is coming out this year. Honestly, I'm just so impressed that Nintendo can keep all this under wraps, and then I know for a fact I'll be playing this game in about like 5 months. It's just absolutely crazy to see. But if you haven't played a Mario and Luigi RPG game, this is the time to dive into the Mario RPGs in general. Thousand Year Door just came out. Super Mario RPG just came out. Definitely try out Brothership if you're interested in the Mario Luigi series of that type of game. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is one of the greatest video games of all time, and is definitely the greatest prequel in the history of video games. Now, the fact that we are getting a remake from Konami, who has a completely disgraced company at this point that I have little faith in, actually has impressed me with how Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta looks. And the graphics look absolutely incredible. They are keeping the original voice lines and adding a couple more here and there just to give a little bit more content. But the fact that the gameplay looks like it's running on the Fox engine and just in a little more in depth with the CQC, the different shooting, the different camera angles, and sort of expanded areas. I love Metal Gear, and I say, even without Hideo Kojima on this title, I am there day one for Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, as it is just nailing the entire vibe. And I know if you're a real Metal Gear fan, like, I don't want to play Snake Eater from Konami here. The game's already perfect. It doesn't have the yellow filter. Well, they confirmed there is a yellow filter to make it look exactly like the original game if you would like to do that. And I want to give them the chance here. I know they're doing bad things with Silent Hill 2 right now, but you know what? With MGS3 Delta, it looks absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait to play this game. Metaphor ReFantazio has a very strong chance of winning my Game of the Year of 2024. A new IP made from the Persona team, and instead of using the same standard Persona / SMT monsters we've been seeing for 30 years at this point, we are getting a whole new set of monsters, a whole new world, and all new characters. And it is such a fresh and beautiful start for something like Persona Team at Atlas. Now, this is like Persona crossed over with Game of Thrones in an imaginary world that is created from the dreams and fears of human beings, and it sounds completely wacky and insane. And something that I love is they're actually changing up the combat. Yes, it is still a turn-based RPG, but instead of summoning personas, you actually become one of the 28 different monsters in the game. And they're not really monsters, they're sort of like aspects that you become that represent a certain type of monster, or like a job class, like a knight, and it'll be like a knight monster. And it just seems so cool. They can set up your team in so many different ways. This team has a great supporting cast from not only just from the characters that we've seen so far, and one dude definitely gives me Griffith vibes, but also the voice acting seems to be great, and definitely I would actually be willing to play this in English instead of my usual Japanese. Monster Hunter Wilds looks like the dream come true after Monster Hunter World. A truly open world Monster Hunter experience with massive maps, multiple monsters on the map at once. And my biggest thing is you can now carry 2 weapons at the same time, a first in the Monster Hunter series, and that in itself already opens up so many different gameplay possibilities. But the other big thing about Monster Hunter Wilds that gets me incredibly excited is not only that the game is confirmed cross-play, so you can play with all your friends in any other platform, which is new for the series, but also this dynamic weather effects that will happen throughout the map. And we currently only see the desert zone, but it's going to be mountainous, there's going to be valleys, fields, and volcanic activity, and the different weather effects, how it affects the monsters and you in each area, just seems to be so dynamic. It's definitely a game that I will be picking up day one no matter what, but it's a game I do need to see more on the monsters. But the monsters that we have seen so far do look pretty cool, and hopefully they can bring over the entire cast from Monster Hunter World, maybe even Monster Hunter Rise, some of those, and just add on, give us new variants, and give us a phenomenal hunting experience. All right, now our last game is Phantom Blade Zero. Now this game was the end to the Sony conference, and I absolutely loved it. I love that, one, we're getting more Chinese representation in video games as a whole, but I think it's looking quite badass. It definitely has that cross between Stellar Blade and Sekiro, where it's like it's focusing a lot on the heavy combat, but also combos or the parry system. And of course, there's going to be some massive epic Souls-like boss fights where you can like break their posture to do critical hits on them. But you know, you're going to die in a few hits if you don't parry or block or do the correct inputs at the right time. And I just love those types of games. And the thing is, a lot of those games are being made now, but a lot of them look really jank, they look really bad. But I think Phantom Blade Zero is the one that sticks out of the pack for me in general, and I cannot wait to play more of these games, because honestly, these are my favorite types of games to stream on the channel, so I am very excited for all of that. And there were plenty of other games I was really interested in from Summer Game Fest, especially on the indie side, but those games I just covered are my absolute favorites. And I want to hear in the comment section below, what was your favorite game that you saw during this non-E3 season from any of the conferences, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, or anything from the indies and Summer Game Fest. And of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.